Welcome to Sister Circle. So happy to have you guys here tonight. And that was Jim Croce tonight, who is my all-time favorite. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I have the album. I brought it out here. Well, I'll find it, but oh, it's up there maybe? Up there on top of this? Over here to the left. Sorry. My son's out here recording for me and we're trying to find the cover. That's it. Yes.
There you go.
Thank you so much. I'm going to show you guys.
Something else on top.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's the Halloween one. Okay. But this is my all-time favorite, I think, artist, definitely from the 70s, Jim Croce, and this is so cute. So Time in a Bottle was actually written about his son. I think his son's name is Alex. I'd have to double check that. But this is a picture of his son that was in the album that he released that year. And he was obviously just a little boy when Jim passed away. But he's one of my favorite artists. So that's who we played in with tonight. And as far as your week, how has it been? I hope everybody's had a good week. I've had an interesting week. I've had kind of a bad week. Friday I had the first time I've had what I would call an anxiety attack, which was uncomfortable, and it's not something I've ever had happen before in my life. So it was very unpleasant, and I'm trying to kind of get to the root of why it happened. But after a lot of reflection, I believe that it happened because I am worrying too much about things that are out of my control. And so I'm trying to get more into the moment, back into being in the moment, and not trying to think about the future so much or worrying so much about the past, but just trying to be present. Because when I get to that worrying place, that's where it happened, and it was not a pleasant thing, and it's something that I hope never happens again. But I do think that is a perfect example of why it's so important for us to take care of our mental health. You have to take care of yourself, you have to be kind to yourself, and you have to do things that are good for you, good for your mental health, your physical health. I lifted weights today, finally, after saying I was going to do it. I finally did it, and I did a rowing machine. My legs are actually a little bit wobbly, so I did do that. I did my cold shower today for over 2 minutes, so that's something that I like to do, but again, that's something that you would check with your doctor maybe before you do, because it can be a little jarring, especially if you're not used to it. But that's something that I really like is cold therapy. So something I enjoy.
AJ Croce.
AJ Croce, thank you so much. And his son, Jim Croce's son, is AJ Croce, and he actually tours the country doing his dad's music. So he does shows and he plays his dad's music. And there's a really sad story about that. So when Jim had AJ, he was 2 years old, I think, when Jim died. And Jim Croce's wife, Jim died in a plane crash. That nothing, unfortunately, the pilot had a heart attack and the whole plane went down, and they barely, almost missed a line of trees, but didn't. And so his little boy was only 2. And the gentleman, or no, I shouldn't say gentleman, the man that she ended up with beat Jim's son, and he ended up going blind. So it's a really sad story, but it's uplifting. He's partially blind. He tours the country doing his dad's songs, and it's just a Time in a Bottle. Jim Croce actually wrote about his son. So, all right, I've gone on about him for long enough. I'll go on him for a long time. I absolutely love his music, and I think he was just a really neat man. So tonight we're going to do something that I've been working on. I try to find things like at the end of a holiday season. So at the end of Thanksgiving, at the end of Halloween, at the end of Christmas, Valentine's Day, whatever whatever holiday, you enjoy the most. The day after there's huge sales, and the week after everything is like 90% off. So that's the one that I hit. I don't hit the one the day after. I hit the one a week after when they want to literally, like, the stuff's going in the trash if they don't unload it. So it's 90% off. So that's where I get these little kind of knick-knacky things, and that's what I use in my art. And I like to make sustainable art. So I'm using things that would end up in the trash, and I'm taking them instead and making them the things you can put into your home for decorations. So you don't have to go and buy something new. You can create something on your own out of what people call trash, because you know we know the saying, one person's trash is another person's treasure, and I think I speak to that a lot. So I'm going to show you what I put together here, and then I'll kind of give you an idea of how to do your own. And this is where you get creative. You can do whatever you want. I mean, it's your canvas. Art, things like this, painting, it's your canvas to create what you know is pleasant to your eye, what is creative to your taste. So this is something, I have these, and this is all, this jar and this plate. So both of these I got at Goodwill for $1. So this was $1, this was $1. And inside here, I've just got some old Mardi Gras beads. And then let me show you, this is for next week, but I'll show you guys that a little bit later. So I cut up, I had this old pillow that was all ripped up and stained, and I'm gonna basically just throw it away. So I thought, you know what, that has stuffing inside it. So I ripped it open, and that's what I'm using for some of my Christmas art, because it looks like snow. So look, that's free. You would have thrown that away. It's all gross, but I've got all of this stuffing now to use for my art, and it's, that would have gone in the trash. So in a landfill. Now it's going to go in these things. So anyhow, I've got this little Mardi Gras beads, which I got an entire bag of 100 at Goodwill for $1.25. So I use those. So I mixed those in there. I've got a little ornament, and then I got this little sign for 10 cents. This guy was included in a bag of like 20. So he was maybe a penny, even less. And then these are the candles that you get at the end of the season, battery operated, and you just twist the top off. So when you want to refill them, you've got it right there. You don't need to come underneath. And this is all glued in now. So you can kind of see this. I'm going to create a hot chocolate bar for my family this year. And I love anything with seashells. So I have all these old seashells, and I chose to put that on there. And that's where you can get creative. If you have something that, like if you like feathers, or you like beads, or you like whatever, you can put it into even your holiday art. And it's just kind of makes it unique to you. So fun things to do. But this is going to go into my little, oh yeah, I'm gonna show you guys too, but this is gonna go, and what I'm gonna do with the plate, I'm gonna put more snow, some more of the stuffing, and then I'm gonna put some greenery around it. But these are just candles that I'm creating, and I've got one right here, so I'll kind of show you guys what I do here. And then my son's we're gonna show you some of the art that I've created. So here's my stuffing, which I have a lot of, and we're gonna jam that down into the bottom. Now, I didn't glue it. You could glue it, but this way, if I decide to use the jars another way sometime, I can pull it out. So I'm not gluing it, but you can stick it down in there best you can. Try to get it as equal or as straight as you can. And then you can go in and decorate around it. And I've got some fun things here that I was just going to show you, but I use things like this. So this is another thing. So we could even add this maybe onto the base right there. Pardon me. We could add that right there even. That's kind of cute. So that just, you get to play with things. And flowers, I've got old flowers. I got this thing last year for I think $1. And it's got all these tiny little funky ornaments in it. So I'm going to use this for my art too. And then I've got another plate and another little sign to hang up for my hot chocolate bar when I get everything done. And I'll get this done and show you guys next week. But I do have a few pieces that I want to show you that I have gotten done for Christmas.
Right here, just move these forward.
Oh yeah. Oh, here we go.
You can see it too.
Can we see it from there?
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a few pieces here. I'm going to be hopefully putting my art into, it's like an antique area where they sell things like antiques and then arts and things people have created. And so this is something that I created last year. So that's one of them, and it does light up. I don't have the lights on it right now because it's so bright out here, but it has lights inside it that light up. So that is my angel. And then this is my lady out for a weekend in the country at Christmas or Thanksgiving, but the front says love. These are all recycled parts. So these are old Barbies that were discarded at Goodwill. They looked terrible. And so I basically took them and made them into Christmas art, Christmas things that we can enjoy and set out year after year. And my goal is to repurpose and recreate into something that your family can keep for generations, but that we don't have to buy new stuff. Pass down, exactly, yes. And I just love that idea. So I'm going to give this to my daughter this year, I believe. So hopefully she enjoys it for her house. So that's some of the art that I'm putting together.
I think she'd go with that one.
You think she'd like this one?
Because her house is, it's like, I feel like that would be perfect size.
Oh yeah, because it's kind of like this is like a city vibe.
I feel like that could sit on like a cabinet shelf or something like that so easily. This one's just a little bit bigger.
This is bigger.
And heavy.
This is like an old picture.
Yeah, exactly. That is an old picture frame on the bottom. Yeah,
it's an old picture frame, and then I created that on top of it. So it's just using and repurposing. So these are just some fun things that I'm doing for winter and getting into. You guys see I've got my Don't Stop Believin' vibe shirt on. But like I had not a great week, struggled a little bit. But the important thing is that we regroup and we bounce back. You know that you have people that love you and make sure that you stay close to friends and family and reach out if you need to talk to someone. It's very important. And do things in your free time if you can, even if it's just sitting outside in the sunshine. But just do things that make you feel good, That's what I'm trying to do, and I hope I'm sharing things like that with you. And if anyone has stuff that they like to do, I'm always open to ideas. I'm always looking for new things to do, so please share those with me. I would love to hear them in the comments. And I wanted to show you guys, I'm also going to go in and read tonight. That's another promise that I've made to myself. So I got a book that I read, I think I'm 57, and I think I was in my early 30s when I read this. So I know I've read it, and I know it's about they're in a jungle, but I don't remember the book. I don't remember what happens, the details, all of that. So I got the Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver, and I got that delivered last week, so I'm starting this tonight. And then after that, I got a book called Women Who Run with the Wolves. And this one, too, I'm very excited to read. I'd started this one, didn't get very far because I don't know why, I used to love reading. I used to read all the time, and for some reason, it's hard for me now. And I think, if I'm being honest, it has to do with my phone. I think that I've gotten so used to almost like a short attention span.
Platforms as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Netflix.
Yeah, it's like I can switch. With a book, you have to stay there. You have to stay with it. You have to stay with that focus. And with my phone, it's like I can, that gets boring. I can distract. I can switch constantly. And so I think that's why it's harder for me now to read in my 50s at this time in the world than it was for me in my 30s, 27 years ago. So I'm going to get back into reading because it's something I really enjoyed. I'm a huge, Stephen King was always my favorite, and James Patterson. I'm going to be honest, I did read a lot of Danielle Steele. I know. Which, I loved her. I loved her stuff. Nicholas Sparks. I said I know because it's like really love story stuff. Danielle Steele is, it's love story stuff. Well, Nicholas Sparks too. I like him, and yeah, he's very much the love stories. So, but Stephen King is not. We started watching his new show, so it's been interesting. Wow. But anyhow, you guys, I enjoyed having you here with me tonight. I appreciate it so much, and I hope you have a great week. I will see you next week. Oh, I'm going to show you what we're going to do next week. I was going to do it tonight, but I could not get the flowers that I had to work. Did you see it? Oh, they're right here. So I picked the last of the flowers in my yard. This is it. There's nothing else. This is the last of the color in our yard other than leaves. And I wanted to do something, it's called flower pounding, okay? So I saw Pamela Anderson do this on her show. She has like a cable show, or it's something on Netflix. I don't know what it was, but it was really cute and cool show. And so she did something called flower pounding, and I'm going to do it next week, and you guys are going to watch me do it. So you take the flour, and I'm going to get better flowers. Those didn't work. I tried it earlier, and I just really made a spot, like a dirty spot. It doesn't look, that's not what I was going for. So next week, we're going to use my shirt. I got this at Silver Dollar City also when I was in my 30s, I think. I was in my 30s. My God, this is old.
Before you had pit bulls, too.
It is, which is kind of interesting. So and it kind of looks like Stanley.
It does look a little bit like
which
Stanley.
Is weird.
And Cam, too.
And Cam, yeah. But anyhow, next week on this shirt, we're going to do something called flower pounding, and I'm going to do it around the dog. But I'm going to get a bouquet of fresh flowers from the store. You want to see it?
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you guys, but you take I love this thing. This is my meat hammer. You take something, like I'm going to use this, but you can use just a little regular hammer, whatever you have, and you take the flour, you wrap it in the fabric, and you literally beat it, okay? And the color from the flour goes into the fabric, and it's almost like, in a way, tie-dyeing. Can you see the spot that I tried to do?
Like you said,
yeah. Exactly. I need bright colors. I need like yellows and reds.
You could do
purples.
more over that, a brighter.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So next week, very excited. We are going to try that, and you guys are going to see me do it live on air. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So that was super fun. Thank you so much again, and stay positive. I had a day this week where I got really down, and I have bounced back because my family is really supportive, and I'm staying on the bright side, and I hope everybody else is too, as much as they can. And I hope you have support from your family and friends. I really do. Take care, and I will see you next week. And we're going to play out with Jim Croce, again, my musical idol.
But there never seems to be enough time to do the things we want to do.